Hi, welcome to Gemini Star Spiritual Wellness. Thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to be with you here for this video, and I appreciate you coming and watching the videos on this channel. I'm excited to bring this information to you on a regular basis, all the information that's on the channel. I'm excited to do it. So today's video is going to be the weekly tarot reading for the week of August 10th through the 16th. 2025. And I just yesterday I just put out a special Lionsgate 88 portal reading. My guides are really pushing me to do that reading, so there must have been some information in there that they wanted you to have. Because I wasn't originally going to do a reading for the Lionsgate portal, but I felt very strongly, like I said, they were pushing me to do it. And I also used a deck, the Archangel Michael Oracle deck, because I felt very intently that that needed to happen to be part of the reading. So I did that as well. So the Lionsgate portal started on July 26th, and it goes all the way to August 12th, which is, coming up towards, that will be, it'll be ending during the time frame of this reading that we're doing right now. So let's see what the energy is going to be for the collective for the week of August 10th through the 16th. And as always, take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. Some of this might resonate with you, some of it might not, because there'll be a lot of people watching. And my intention is for the collective. So my intention is for everybody watching this video or who will watch this video. And so it might resonate with you personally, it might not. So we shall see what the energy is going to be. I'm kind of excited to see because the Lionsgate portal reading was pretty intense. So if you're interested, you might want to check that out. And I'm also finishing up the chakra information series. I just finished up with all the chakras, but I do want to do one more video to close it out on how to cleanse your chakras and unblock them. So I know that'll be good information to have. So I want to do that for everyone on the channel. So okay, what's going to be the collective energy for the week of August 10th through the 16th, 2025? What is going to be the energy of the collective August 10th through the 16th, 2025? All right, let's see what the energy is going to be for the collective. Okay, I'll read them out to you. And as always, please, hit the like button so this video will go out to other people that need to see it. And hit the subscribe button so you'll get future videos I put out. So sorry, it's kind of warm in here. I actually have the windows open. It cooled down enough, but it's still kind of humid and hot. All right, so we've got the Two of Wands. We've got the Lovers. Interesting. Page of Swords. Ooh, okay. 10 of Swords. Okay, 6 of Swords. We've got the Four of Cups and the Nine of Wands. Okay, so in the past, I feel like as a collective, there has been kind of a lot of gossip and innuendo, information that has been false, that's been kind of floating around, and I'm talking about the collective, so like on a global scale, but like gossip, innuendo, rumors floating around, information that's not entirely factual and true. And it's been sneaky, like I feel like a sneaky energy with it. And that's how it's been in the past for the collective leading up to this week. But I feel like the collective has been dealing with a lot of that, the sneaky behavior, um, just yeah, sneaky. I keep feeling sneaky, like rumors, things going on, kind of backstabbing rumors, shenanigans going on. There's been a lot of that the collective has had to deal with in the past. But going into the current energy, it's like we are at this point where we're looking at our options. So we've had that sneaky rumor, gossipy, information in the past that wasn't really accurate and true. So now we're looking at, and we're kind of figuring that out, and we're looking at moving forward, what option do we want as a collective, as an Earth collective moving forward? What do we want our new Earth to look like? Um, there's definitely things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about that's kind of keeping the collective apart, which is interesting because it's kind of like, there's a bifurcate, there's a splitting of timelines going on right now. So you've got part of the collective is in one timeline and the other part is in another timeline. So there's a timeline that's going to the new earth that, for the folks that are ready for that higher level of consciousness, that have done their work, they're in that higher timeline. And then you have parts of the collective that are not in that timeline, that aren't ready for that, they're in the other timeline. And I feel like it's kind of feels like there's a mountain between the two groups. There's distance between the two groups, and there's kind of a lot of chemistry and passion as far as what timeline somebody's in. So if you notice that, it's kind of like going back to the innuendo, the gossip, the rumors. It's kind of like, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. It's kind of like depending on what timeline you're in, it's like you're passionate about what you believe in. So it's like there's a sense of passion in about that belief system, or about what you believe that that timeline you're in. But it's causing a rift with the people in the other timeline. So there's kind of like a distance between the timelines that's happening right now for the collective. And it's kind of like you're looking at your option as far as which timeline, because now's the time to pick a timeline, because it's going to get to the point you're not going to be able to pick a timeline and switch sides anymore. It's like, this is it. So now's the time they'll be looking at your options and picking your timelines, because the time is swiftly coming where we're going to run out of time for that, where you're not going to be able to jump to a new timeline. You're going to be stuck in the timeline you're in, and you're either going to be on that train going one way, or you're on the train going the other way, and that's it. You're not going to be able to jump. Um, so I feel like that's currently what the collective is going through right now, is making those decisions. But there's going to be the timeline seeing more of a split, or I'm sorry, the collective is seeing more of a split between those timelines. And there's more kind of like, how can you say it, like uh there's more contention between the two timelines, because you have people on both timelines, and there it's kind of like they feel that that's the right timeline, and there's a sense of contention there between each other. But as a collective, we're in this. So he's on the ground there with 10 swords in his back. He's not looking good. So that's the atmosphere right now for us as a collective. But it's the end of a cycle. It's the end of a cycle, and it's also just a card of just surrender. So surrender to the energies of what's going on. Surrender to the two timelines splitting. Surrender to looking at the options. So it's kind of like, but what I'm feeling is like surrender to your heart is what I'm feeling. It's time to surrender to your intuition. Surrender to your heart. Don't get caught up in the false rumors, the gossip, the innuendo, that was coming at us from the past. It's time to surrender to your intuition and to pick a timeline, basically, moving forward. So, moving forward as a collective, I see that we are going to be moving better into a better place, because you see in this card, they're going from choppy water. And if you can see it, my finger's in the way. Choppy water down there by my finger. They're going into smoother water. So he's taking that lady and that little child to a better place. That's kind of what, as a collective, we're going into a better place. So we're surrendering. We're coming to the end of this cycle and not looking real good. Like, but we're moving forward into a better place. We're leaving the choppy waters behind, going into a better place. And then and the universe is giving us, it's giving us opportunities and an offer coming in. We might not see it. The universe is like, yeah, you might not see this as being a good thing or a good opportunity that we're giving you, but it is. And then we've got the Nine of Wands, which is coming to the end of a cycle. So we're coming to the end of this, feeling beaten up and bruised, and see how he just looks like he came out of a battle. He's tired, he's exhausted, he's done with it, so to speak, if you know what I mean. So, but I feel like this opportunity coming from the universe that we don't see quite yet, because you can see he's not looking at the cup with the hand. He's looking at the cups by my finger, but the cup by the hand is the divine opportunity and option coming at him. And he's not seeing that. So the universe is like, look, I'm trying to give you this opportunity, this offer. You just don't see it yet. But I feel like that's coming because of the end of this cycle. And we're feeling kind of beaten up and bruised as a collective right now. Well, especially since, we're coming out of this surrender energy. It's just like we're in the cycle, we're just surrendering. But that's going to lead us, these two cards, this is going to basically bring us up to this. It's going to help us move forward to a better place. We just don't see it yet. Just like this guy doesn't see the card, that he's not looking at the cup that's right in front of his face. We don't see it yet, but we're getting to a better place as a collective. And this card's been coming up a lot in the weekly readings all through July. It was coming up a lot. So as we're very much at the end of that cycle of feeling, beaten up and bruised and exhausted, and we're going to a better place as a collective. So I feel like that portal energy, the Lionsgate portal, is helping us get there. It's helping us get to that better place, but it's gonna it's kind so during this time with this portal, and then going into the week of the 10th through the 16th with this upcoming week, it's like we're integrating the energy from the portal, because the portal ends during on the 12th of August, but it's also a sense of integrating the energy physically, but also consciously, because I feel like there's a lot of energy that's going to come out, that has come out over the last couple weeks, and is going to continue to come out this coming week, where it's going to help us to choose our options on which timeline we want to be on, and how we want to go forward, and what we're passionate about, and how we feel about that. It's going to help us to make that choice and help us surrender to our intuition and follow our heart. So it's kind of like, what I mean by that is, we're going to have energy coming from this portal, from the sun, all this energy coming in that's going to physically change us on the cellular level, but also our DNA is getting upgraded, and it's going to help alleviate, elevate our consciousness. So with that happening, with that, and then integrating that energy in our consciousness, rising up, and our vibration rising up, it's going to help us to make a better choice so that we can get to a better place as a collective. So it's kind of like that consciousness is going to expand as a collective throughout the world during, it has over the last couple weeks, but during this week as well. And it's going to help us to surrender, follow our heart, follow our intuition, decide which timeline we want to be on. Because, like I said, the time is quickly coming to an end where we can make that decision. So it's either like, you're either on one timeline or the other. You have to decide. Do you want to be on the timeline of New Earth, moving forward into a place of high vibration and everything wonderful about the new earth, high consciousness? Or do you want to stay in the lower vibrational 3D world with its challenges, and, and what's going on there that's not high vibration? So we have to make a decision as a collective, because that timeline is, those timelines are splitting further and further apart. And like I said, it's going to get to the point where we're just not going to be able to go one or the other. And you can't have a foot in each timeline. You can't be in both at the same time, and you're going to have to make a decision. So I feel like the energies over the last couple weeks going into this week are pushing us to make those decisions, pushing us to make those life changes, and the things that we need to do to get on the timeline we want to be on. So if you want to be on that higher vibrational new earth 5D timeline, then you know that you need, you're going to be feel guided by the divine to surrender to the guidance of the divine and your intuition to make those changes. So to know what you need to eliminate from your life to help you get on that timeline, or what you need to do personally in your life to help you get on the timeline you want to be on. So if you want to get in that higher vibrational timeline, there might be things that you need to eliminate from your life that's lower vibrational. There might be, you might need to work on your thoughts and words and behavior that's low vibrational to get you on that higher vibrational timeline. So that's what I mean. Like there's things that the divine's going to guide us to, ways to things that we need to eliminate out of our life, things that we need to improve in ourselves, the inner work we need to do so that we can be higher vibrational to get on that higher vibrational timeline. And I think surrender keeps popping out when I'm looking at this card really strongly because we need to surrender to divine guidance. Um, and to what our intuition's telling us. It's, don't try to control it. Just go with the flow and follow the divine guidance, and it will help you get to where you need to be, as far as the timeline split. So that's what I see for the collective. That's a really heavy reading, and it's interesting because the Lionsgate reading was very heavy too, and this one's heavy. So it looks like we're having a lot of big, strong energy coming in right now. So just hang in there. A lot going on with the energy. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you all soon. Bye bye.